Okay, hello, good evening, welcome to another free online English class with me, Matt Perlin from perlintraining.com. That's my site, I hope you can see it. So tonight we're looking at grammar. Free grammar class here tonight. I'm a sort of sporadic twitcher. I don't stream all the time like some people. We could mention. But I'm often on Facebook as well, doing Facebook Live lessons, and my recordings end up on YouTube. You can find them there at Perlin Training on YouTube. I'm going to put the link for this in the chat, so you can find the page and the material that I'm talking about this evening. Or you can go along to perlintraining.com, type in the search, revise the 12 tenses, and you should find it. And basically there's a big graphic there, big picture with all the info about each tense, looking at times, when we use it, uses, why we use it, forms of the verb, auxiliary verbs, and some example sentences, positive, negative and question forms. I hope that will be pretty useful for students of English. I know I've used it with my students and they liked it. Yeah. So if you have any questions at any time, any comments, then please feel free to type in the chat, send me a message on Twitch if you are on Twitch. I put a note this morning that I was going to do, I put this material on Twitter, Facebook and LinkedIn this morning. It's not new material for me, it's about probably a year old. No, it's 2 years, nearly 2 years old, we can see. But it's a good standard piece of work that bears repeating. I put it on Twitter and one person came back with the comment, 12 tenses? I only teach 2. And I replied, well, it's time to 10 more to go, 10 more to go. I believe we should learn all the tenses of English. Yes, there are many here. But what's stopping you from getting a sort of overview of all the tenses? Is it because it's too difficult? Like the guy on Twitter, of course he was joking, I hope, but he's maybe we just don't know about all the others. When I'm teaching English, tenses, I focus on 5 for the beginner and elementary levels. That is present simple, present continuous, past simple, present perfect, and future simple. And I tell the students, most of the time we use these tenses when we're talking, and especially past simple. Past simple is the most important tense in English, the most common, the most used. Most of the time we're talking about the past. What have you been doing? No, that's not past simple. But what did you do today? When we read a book like a novel, it's usually in the past. Oh, very good, said Bob. Oh, that was interesting, said Lisa. Said, so it's in the past. Past simple is the most important of our tenses, but we've got 12 tenses, so 11 more. Maybe it helps to break them down into pairs. If you look at the tenses as pairs, as partners, then you've got 6 pairs. So now it's not 12, but 6. And often they are connected by time, by auxiliary verb, and by usage. So in this graphic we can see, let me put it up. Oh, no, that's not right. Okay, this is the image we've got. So look at the tenses in terms of pairs. Present simple and present continuous are together. I always say they're like brothers, or they're like sisters, but they're together, they're close together. We teach them together, we compare them together. Past simple and past continuous, present perfect continuous, future simple, future continuous. Can you see the pattern there? Past perfect continuous, future perfect continuous. So it's a simple tense and then a continuous tense. And maybe that will unlock it for you. That will be the key for you or for your students to be able to understand this, that they are pairs, 6 pairs. We don't use all of them all of the time. We use some of them more often than others. When I ask students, what is the most common tense, they always say present simple, or sometimes present continuous. I say what? So when you get home from school or from work, you meet your family and you say, hello, I like apples. Present simple. Or you get home from school and you meet your family and friends and you say, I'm talking to you. I'm eating an apple. Yes, I see. I can see what you're doing. So, no, it's past simple. How was your day? What did you do today? How was your test? Oh, it was terrible. Or it was brilliant. Be positive. Past simple. Past simple. Maybe past continuous, working together with past simple. Yeah. Then present perfect is often used when the time is not finished, so when it's today or this week, this month, since, for and since, so far, up to now. Present perfect. Continuous tenses are for long actions, so we use them for something which continues for a while. Yeah. Also continuous actions are not finished. The actions are not finished, while the other tenses, they are finished. Or some of the some of the others. So what I want to do then is have a look at the tenses briefly, and maybe we'll do some exercises a bit later on. Present simple is the first tense, so we learn this first. It's the first thing we do when we start an English class. My name is Matt, present simple be. Yes, we are students. I live in Poland. I live, present simple. It's regular action. Or fact, it's a fact. So, present simple. In present simple, we're using auxiliary verbs do, does, unless the verb is be. If it's be, then we use be. Be is the king of all the verbs, or queen, if you like. So be can do whatever it likes, whatever it wants. It's always a bit different from the other verbs. Present simple is not for now, but it's for regular time, usually with adverbs of frequency, like I always do something, I usually, sometimes, often, fairly, regularly, never do something. And we use it for zero conditional. That's in both clauses of zero conditional. For example, if I eat chocolate, I feel good. For example, many people think that present simple is for actions which are now, but it's not. For example, now I talk to you now. Yes, I talk to you. No, I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you now. I'm talking to you at the moment. So we use present continuous for now and for future arrangements. Future with the time phrase. So present continuous for future. I'm meeting my friend on Saturday. If we add a time phrase, it makes it a future tense. Very common for future. We're using be plus ing form. He is meeting, not now, but on Saturday. He's meeting his friend on Saturday. So you need be as an auxiliary verb. And there are other uses here. You can download this graphic and have a look at it if you want, and find out even more about it. I just move my video down to the bottom here. So we come to past simple and past continuous. Past simple is a finished action in finished time. The time is finished, the action is finished. It's yesterday, it's last week, last month, it's ago. We can't go back to this time. It's not possible. Please tell me if I'm wrong. Any scientists? I recently read a book called The Time Machine, and it was a wonderful story, but unfortunately H.G. Wells, and he did well. But it's just a story, we can't go back, so finished actions in finished time. Often yesterday or last week, telling news stories about finished past actions. Past tense is ed for regular verbs. Irregular, you have to just learn them. Sorry about that. We're using did for every verb except, you guessed it, be. For every verb except be. With be, we're using was, were. And past simple works with past continuous. Often we use past continuous first. I was doing something, blah blah blah, when something happened in past simple. Past simple is the main tense, and past continuous is the helping tense. It's helping to set the scene, and we see that a lot with our tenses. Present perfect, difficult one for many students. They can't understand why we need it. It's past action, then use past simple. The difference is the time is unfinished. So today I have been to the park, for example. I've been to the park today. I went to the park yesterday, past simple, but today I've been to the park, I've been to the park. So why have a separate tense just to talk about today or unfinished time? I don't know, but we have it. We have it, and we have to use it. And we do use it. British people do use it. If you go to America and speak English, maybe they use it less or much less. They're not so bothered. It's not such an issue in American English, but for British people we use it a lot. Oh, I've just done something. Oh, I've just made my lunch. Oh, I've just had my lunch. Use past simple. I just had my lunch. Many students use only past simple instead of present perfect, so it's an error and it doesn't sound so good. So it's worth learning it. Action is past, time is unfinished. Recent actions, life experience. In my life is not finished. Thanks to God, it's not yet finished. Not yet. And so I talk about it with present perfect. I have been to Gdansk. I've been to Gdansk many times in my life, in the time that is not finished. I went to Gdansk. It sounds like your life is over. It's like you're lying on your deathbed. Oh yes, I went to Gdansk many times. I went there so many times. You know, we use present perfect to sound up to date, to sound current, and present. It is present perfect after all. Present perfect continuous is for unfinished actions, while present perfect is for finished actions. Again, it's about long actions. What have you been doing today? Today I have been writing my assignment all morning. No, all day. Today, the time. Morning would be finished time. So I've been writing an assignment all day. What have you been doing all day? Or what have you been doing this week, this month? Since I last saw you? Oh, loads of things. It sounds up to date, it sounds current, it sounds present. Not what did you do since I last saw you. We've got the tenses and we use them, and you have to use them, and you should use them. Both present perfect and PPC. PPC with ing form, like all continuous tenses. We can't use them with state verbs. Yeah, like what state verbs? Hearing, feeling. No, feeling we can't. Anyway, other state verbs. Let's take a typical state verb. State verbs are things that we do in our head usually. So like remember. You can't say I have been remembering something today. I have remembered it. Or we can't say I am remembering or I was remembering something. It's not possible. It's a state verb, stative verb. We don't do it, folks, sorry. We have to be careful about that. She has been driving all day. She's been driving all day. She hasn't been driving all day. She hasn't. The auxiliary verb is have and has. Has she? Has she been driving all day? Yes, she has. No, she hasn't. Yeah. For the long action, so we've got six. We've done 6 already. It's only 3 pairs. If you're learning English, take it slowly. Go to learn all the tenses. We've done in 22 minutes and 10 seconds. We've done 6. We've done half of it. Calls for a drink, a celebration. The next one is future simple. I would teach this with really low-level students, beginners, and elementary level, just so that they've got something to talk about the future. Future with will and plus infinitive. I will do something. I will text you later. Okay, I'll text you later. I'll talk to you later. No, see you. Bye. I won't text you later. Okay, then I won't. I won't bother. Many students have a problem with won't, will not, won't, and they say I won't text you. I won't text you. Like want. Of course it's wrong. I won't. Oh sound. Will you text me later? Will you call me? Yes, I will, I promise. We use it for promises. Immediate future. Somebody at the door. Oh, I'll get it. It's not even really future, it's just now. It's like 2 seconds in the future. Immediate future. Predictions. I think this course will be fantastic. It's my prediction. I think it will. Yeah, it will be really good. Will be good. It'll be really, really good. So some of the uses, we don't use future simple for every future action. For example, oh, my friend, I will meet him on Saturday. I will meet him on Saturday. Not really for plans or arrangements. Better present continuous. I'm meeting him on Saturday. Or I'm gonna meet him. Going to. Future simple works with going to for future plans. Yeah, I'm gonna meet him. Meet him on Saturday is probably the most natural of all. Now the next one is really unknown, I think, for many students. Future continuous. It's the brother or sister or partner with future simple, of course. It's rather rare. It's not doesn't have such. It's not so useful. Let's say, how can we be polite about it? I want to upset future continuous. As if they're real, as if they are human. They're not. Just concepts. Okay, sorry I said that. I didn't mean it. Future continuous is not very useful, but talking about schedules, timetables, plans, interrupted plans. Let's say we want to meet tomorrow at 10. I want to meet you at 10 o'clock on Zoom. I say, what will you be doing? What will you be doing tomorrow at 10? Oh, tomorrow at 10 I'll be sending an email. I'll be doing my emails probably. What will you be doing tomorrow, next Friday, in the future, at a specific time usually? So it has uses. When I'm booking courses, classes with my students. Sorry. And that we're trying to find out a time to meet. So what will you be doing tomorrow afternoon at 2 o'clock? Oh, I'll be in a meeting. So, future simple. So we do use it sometimes. I almost never hear this from my students. Will be, two auxiliary verbs, plus ing form. I will be, or I'll be cooking when you call. So it's adding background context to the other action, the present simple action. After when in the future we can use present simple. I won't be cooking when you call. Will you be cooking when I call? I don't know yet. How do I know? When are you going to call? I don't know. Not sure. I'm not sure what I'm doing. What you're doing. Schedules, making plans. Future continuous. But it's certainly better than saying in future simple, like, okay, what will you do tomorrow at 10 o'clock in the morning? What will you do? It's not right. What will you be doing? So like I said, be careful about future simple. We can't use it for everything. For every future. We've got loads of future forms. There's a good page about this on my website at perlintraining.com. Perlin Training, how can I help you? Have a look at it if you want. That's imperative form. Order, have a look at it. Do it. Just do it. No, do it if you want. That is condition. So 2 more pairs left. Sorry, I'm not ordering anyone what to do. Do whatever you want. It's still an order though. Do what you want. So it's hard to use imperative. It's not a tense anyway. Past perfect is next. Past perfect continuous. These are really used before past simple. It gives an extra 3-dimensional time frame in the past. So we've got 2 blocks in the past. Imagine 2 blocks. This one it's past perfect. This one it's past simple. Past simple is closer to now. For example, I went out to the bank. I had already spoken to the bank manager that morning. So past perfect gives information about what happened before the past simple action, and it's wonderful. And again, if you want to go to USA, or if you live in the USA, then you might not need to use it. Then don't use it if you don't want to. Do everything in the past. I went to the bank and I spoke to the bank manager in the morning before I went to the bank. Then everything is flat, everything is in the same time zone. But with past perfect, this one, past perfect, it's before past simple. It's before. It's definitely in a different time period. And this is wonderful for us in British English. Yeah, wonder why we have so many literary works, important writers, because of our language. Now, I would say that, and I did say it, and I will say it in the future, probably fairly often, I think. Past perfect continuous for long actions. Both past perfect and past perfect continuous are finished actions in finished time. So the time is definitely gone. It's before past simple. There's no time before the past perfect times. Past perfect is it. Let's say we're talking about history. You could say the Romans used fire to create their important architectural masterpieces. But man or woman, mankind, not personkind, sorry, I'm wrong. Personkind had discovered fire many millions of years before that. So it's a different time. Personkind. Can't we just say mankind? It's a word in the dictionary. Oh dear. Humankind. Sorry, I'll use this one. Yes, you could use past simple. So the Romans used fire to create architectural wonders or masterpieces, and millions of years before that, humankind also used fire, blah blah blah. But it feels like it's in the same time, even though I said millions of years before that. It feels like it's sequential with past simple action. It's I did this, and then I did that, and then went here, and I went there, in past simple. But if you use the past perfect tenses, use past perfect, you can really stick your neck out. It look good. It looks like a different time phrase. Yes, humankind had already been using fire for millions of years prior to that. Set the scene in the past. Interrupted past actions. I had been doing something when something happened. I had been cooking my lunch when the phone rang. Past simple is the most important action still. So it's had been plus ing. If you don't use these tenses, try to learn them. Take some time out. Focus on it. Past perfect works with past simple. I had done something before I did something. Yes, it's a good sentence. It's a good. Or I had been doing something when it was interrupted. Yeah, I said it was a finished action. Of course, but continuous tenses, they are not finished actions. Yes, let's make it clear. Setting the scene in the past, I'd been creating a Roman masterpiece for 2 hours when, or but, or so, or something else, another conjunction. When Aurelius walked into my workshop. Hello, or good day, good morrow, Aurelius, I said. You know, we're in past simple. The main tense is past simple, but we started off before that. I had been doing something before the past simple action. Gives I call it a three-dimensional feeling of time. I don't know what that means really, but I feel it makes sense to me. To me anyway. Maybe you know what I mean. If you do, please try to explain it to me. Thank you. So we're nearly at the end, and it's only 37 minutes. So 37 minutes, 14 seconds to explain 10 different tenses. I make that an average of 3.7 minutes per tense. It's not bad. I thought this was going to take ages. But we come to the worst. You know, this is where we could see maybe a tumbleweed rolling across the screen. Tumbleweed. Nobody likes future perfect. Nobody even knows about future perfect continuous. We don't know what they are. Well, I know, because I studied them so that I could tell my students about them. Native speakers don't know anything about tenses unless we study them. But we can speak English with all these tenses, and we use all of them. We use them naturally because we learned that from our parents. Usually from our parents, right? But if you ask the person in the street, I nearly said man in the street, the humanoid, the human person in the street, it's only an idiom, the man in the street. Anyway, the man on the Clapham omnibus is an older version of this idiom. So if you ask the normal, any person in the street, okay, can you give me a sentence with future perfect, please? What? Huh? I do not know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know, they say. But future perfect is like past perfect. It creates a 3D version of time in the future. It's 2 times in the future. Past perfect is 2 times in the past. So future perfect, I will have done something before or by the time before another time in the future. Like, I'm sure, looking at my the time on my laptop is 2040. I'm sure I will have finished this lesson by 9 o'clock, by 9 p.m. I'm pretty sure about that, unless some students are going to ask many questions or take part in some exercises. But failing that, I will have finished this. Yeah, I will have done this by 9 o'clock. I don't know what time I will finish. I didn't say what time I would finish this, but I will have finished it. I will have done it. A future action will be finished before another action in present simple, usually. We've got past participle, we've got will have plus past participle. I will have eaten lunch by the time we meet. Present simple again. Present simple pops up in the future, in the second clause. In future continuous, in future perfect. I will have done something by the time we meet. I won't have finished. No, I won't have done it. Will you have finished this report by next Friday? No, probably not. I won't have had time. I won't have had time to do it. We use it, we do use them, but we can't tell you why we use them or what it is even. It's just naturally, it's embedded in our brains, just like your first language is with you, in your brain. Will you have had lunch by the time we meet? No. Then okay, then let's go for lunch. Maybe we can go and have lunch together. Yeah, why not? Making arrangements in the future. We're imagining what we will have accomplished, what we will have done, what we will have done. We use will have, not will have. We don't say will have. It's too many unstressed syllables as stressed syllables. But willa, even willa. Yeah, will have eaten, will have eaten. Will have eaten by... Will you have eaten by 2 o'clock? Yes, I think so. I don't know what time I will finish eating. Maybe it's 1:30, 1:45. In future perfect continuous, the actions are unfinished. I will have been doing something for 1 hour by the time we meet, by 2 o'clock, by then even, you could use. So it's, you know, you're just stating, setting the scene really in the future. You imagine the future. Future doesn't exist, we're just imagining it in our minds. Yeah. You know, I think tomorrow afternoon I will have been working on my project for at least an hour by the time you get here, by the time something happens, by the time something in present simple the time something happens in present simple. Yeah, I will have been cycling, will have been, will have been, will have been, no, will have been, I will have been cycling for an hour by 2 o'clock, by 2 p.m. I won't have been cycling for an hour by 2 p.m. Will you have been? Will you have been? Will you have been? So a lot of these unstressed words, function words, that we don't stress. What will you have been? It's too much. It's just too much for us. We don't want to hear it. Will you have been? If you talk like that, then try to combine these words, squeeze them together. Will you have been? Will you have been cycling? Will you have been? Okay, 12 tenses in 45 minutes. And 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 seconds. I think it was fewer seconds than that. So, I hope that's helpful to you, the viewer of this video, and you, the person watching on Twitch, or on YouTube, or on the website perlintraining.com. Don't forget you can download this table. If it helps, I would advise you to learn all the tenses. All of them. If you're a teacher, teach them all the tenses. 12 tenses of English. 6 pairs. It's only 6. 1 per week will take you 6 weeks. What's the point of learning future perfect, for example? We use it. Yes. It's good to have it under your belt. Maybe you can use it once a month in spoken English. But it's good to know about it, because also it demystifies the English tenses. Because otherwise, like this morning, this message from my contact person on Twitter who said, "Oh, I only use 2 tenses. I only teach 2 tenses." I hope it was a joke, but why? Learn all the tenses. It demystifies it. Otherwise you get a situation, people saying, "Oh, there's so many tenses in English. Oh, I don't know half of them. I don't know any of them. I don't know. And you say, well, how many tenses are there? I don't know. 20? 100? You know, there are probably some difficult parts in your language that we have to learn. I teach a lot in Poland, mainly in Poland, and Polish people complain, "Oh, there's so many tenses. In Polish there are only 3 tenses." I say, yeah, but in Polish you've got, 7, 8, 9 different words for table, depending on the context. And for any nouns, it's just awful to learn. It's so impossible to learn. That's difficult for me in Polish. Of course it's not impossible, because people do learn it. We need to have an interest in learning it. But let's have an interest in learning English tenses. Yes, there are quite a few. Yes, we need to learn maybe 5 main ones and a few future forms, because we can't use future simple for everything. Some of them are neglected: the past perfects, the future perfects, the future continuous. It's not really worth learning it, but it is, because then you feel good. You feel like you have mastered something and got to know it. You demystified it, and now it doesn't hold any fear. You say, yes, I know the tenses. I don't use them, all of them, all the time. I'm using present simple, present continuous, past simple the most, probably. Present perfect for today, when it's today, this week, life experience. And future simple and a few other future forms, like going to and present continuous for future. And present simple for future. I think about timetables. The next train leaves at 2:44. This is present simple. usually regular actions, facts. But future after when, in the second clause, future continuous, future perfect. Get to know the tenses. Let's get to know them, get them under your belt, as we say, and you'll feel better. You'll feel like, yeah, it's cool. I don't use them all the time, but I know about them, and I've got it. I've got this. I've got this. Good. Okay, I think it's enough for tonight. If you enjoyed my lesson on Twitch and you're watching here, why not send a message? Join me again for another meeting live on Twitch or on Facebook Live. You can see all my video lessons on YouTube at Purland Training, P-U-R-L-A-N-D Training. Train plus ing, don't need to spell train. Okay, T-R-A-I-N, is it? Yes. I-N-G, joke, it's a joke. Training.com. So, yes, and have a look at the website. There's loads of free materials, all public domain materials from PurlandTraining.com. So that's it. I think we're going to finish, and I will say it's been very nice to talk to you or with you. Let's say with you, to talk with you. It's been very nice to talk with you about English tenses, and please try to learn all of them without exception, and all the future forms and the four conditionals and mixed conditionals. Okay, that's another lesson. That can be another day. So join me on Twitch, on Facebook, and on Twitter, LinkedIn, anything else, and the PurlandTraining.com website. Thank you very much. Have a good evening and goodbye.